5. Good morning.
Afternoon.
Good afternoon, adventurers, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are. The time is flying here in Hobart. Next to me, I have David Chapman, who has just finished the Rolex Sydney Hobart on Celestial. But we are not here for the Rolex Sydney Hobart right now. We are changing races. The 50th Melbourne to Hobart race, or the Westcoaster, is also underway. And if we look over to Maritimo right now, they've just put up a spinnaker in the sea breeze. This is the current line honours leader in the 50th Melbourne to Hobart race. Chapo, so great to have you with us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Nick. And it's great that the sea breeze has just filled in here for Maritimo to have a real champagne finish.
Absolutely glorious conditions out here on the Derwent, and we're going to just slow down a little bit and try and get some eyes in the sky.
Yeah, the guys are just putting the wind seeker away there. I think that's yet Hughesy on mid-bow there. Sea boots and shorts. Beautiful conditions to finish any ocean race.
Drones in the sky, ladies and gentlemen. We'll try and get it in on the action. Beautiful, beautiful views here on the Derwent. And I'm not sure what view we're looking at right now. I believe we're still on the handheld, but you can see Maritimo looking absolutely glorious. A big shout out to Speezy and this team. They had some hard yards to roll to make it to the Melbourne to Hobart race in the first place. They actually basically raced from the Gold Coast to Sydney, from Sydney to Melbourne, just to make the start. And you can see us in the frame potentially if you go to the drone shot. A big shout out once again to the Royal Yacht Club of Tasmania for donating our boat so that we can be out here on the Derwent bringing you this action live.
Boys are just packing
We
up
are live and on the Derwent, ladies and gentlemen. Chapo, tell me a little bit about Speezy, the man.
Well, he's down there sitting to leeward. Maritimo is a bit of a mix between an IOR, IMS type hull shape. And that's probably how you would define Speezy, really. That generation, he can do anything. He can do everything. I love him personally. You got Scotty Kaufman there on the main, Pete Seldrick there in the pit. There's Hughesy on the mast. Boys are probably doing 110 true wind angle, maybe 120, big S2 flying. Boat looks absolutely sensational. And what these guys have done just to get started the Melbourne to Hobart, after all they've been through, it's absolutely an amazing effort. And now it looks like they're going to win this race. It's absolutely fantastic.
Better slow down on the drone here. I got nice and close there. The commentator can flag the drone is a new loving it. Look at this boat. It's absolutely glorious. Now, for those who didn't hear, the Maritimo TP52 was damaged heading from the Gold Coast to Sydney. They were unfortunately not able to enter this in the Rolex Sydney to Hobart. So what we did, or what they did, was race this boat essentially from the Gold Coast to Sydney. They did a pit stop there. We met them for their pit stop. And then they raced the boat overnight. They only just made it in time for the start. As you mentioned, Chapo, they've just had some amazing obstacles, but it just shows you what sailors can do, I think. We're a hard bunch.
How many miles would it be from the Gold Coast to Melbourne?
Oh gosh, I'm not sure. I'm actually not sure how many miles that would be. More importantly, what would be the miles from the Gold Coast to Hobart? Because they've essentially been racing the whole time. We have to give them a prize.
They look very tired.
Can you, Marine, jump in and get a nice clean shot of Maritimo so that it's just Maritimo on the screen? That would be fantastic. Great job. And you can see on the drone shot, if you can see just on the right of the screen, that is us guys on the Royal Yacht Club of Tasmania boat. We were there this morning. We did a great interview with Tracy Matthews. We'll bring that to you as soon as we can get it. Oh, just beautiful.
Almost a smile there from Speezy.
Almost a smile.
Almost a smile. Scallop's looking quite happy. Local Tasmanian. Scotty Kaufman looking for more pressure. These guys, they're going for line honours, but they still want to win handicap.
Indeed, of course they do. And they were winning handicap overnight, Chapo. It's been a close battle, but they slowed right down. They absolutely motored down that West Coast. Have you ever done a Melbourne to Hobart, Chapo? I know you've won line honours in the Launceston to Hobart.
No, it's on the bucket list, and this one being the 50th would have been a great one to do. But obviously you can't do all three races at once.
Fantastic.
The Launceston to Hobart is a great little race, and the start that we had there on a live and all the locals that turned out for that was fantastic. So if anyone is thinking about doing a Sydney to Hobart or a Melbourne to Hobart but don't quite want to do 600 miles, the Launceston to Hobart's a very good option.
Sounds like a plan to me.
Still get that Hobart hospitality when you finish.
Sounds like a plan to me, because I'm somebody who likes to sleep in their own bed as well. Very much a one design sailor, and I'm not sure what's on your screen at the moment, and maybe God can keep me posted on what's actually going live to air, but I can tell you that watching this boat from the sky is absolutely glorious. I'm just looking at the drone monitor right now. And if you've just joined us, we are live for the line honours finish of the 50th Melbourne to Hobart race, which is sponsored by Doyle Sales and, of course, the ORCV. I've got about 64% on this drone left, but I've got plenty of batteries, so coming nice and low here. See if Speezy can give us a wave. He's down to leeward. Let's see if I can get up his nose. Speezy, give us a wave. Just casually sitting down to leeward. Now he's popped up. I believe that copy. Thank you. Thank you. I lost the drone.
Little adjustment on the spinnaker pole there.
What are you thinking right now, Chapo, if you're on board this boat? They've just gone through a little bit of a transition period.
Yeah, it's a really nasty feeling, just sitting doing 1-2 knots. You know that the competition's catching you. You're not sure when that sea breeze is going to come in, if you're going to get to it before someone sails around you. It's a nasty feeling, but we watched them with their wind seeker there. They did a great job, everyone was down to leeward. They just kept the boat rolling. And it's great to see these guys now. Look, heads are out of the boat. They're all looking for that small bit of advantage that they could find. A bit more wind. Scotty Kaufman there on the main, lots of experience. Etchell's North American champion. Scallops, a local Tasmanian.
You can tell by the name, hey. Have you had a scallop pie yet, Chapo?
I have. That was the second thing I had.
After the beer, yeah?
After my Cascade Lager. But I think they're just looking for the John Garrow Light, which they're pretty much pointing at. You know, they're up now, so they're coming more into the middle of the Derwent. A bit more breeze coming, so they've done that transition pretty well. And just behind them is Fork in the Road, about 1.5 miles back, 2 miles back, who's leading the Launceston to Hobart race, I believe, Nick.
Indeed. We've got 3 races going on at the moment in the Derwent, or maybe 4, because I've just got the drone back up on the live stream. And we'll get that back in as a camera angle for you, ladies and gentlemen. But beautiful shots here. We really wanted to give them the welcome wagon, so to speak. They're starting to pick up speed. They've been quite... But they are picking up speed now, and they'll have a nice little run in. And this is just a sign of what's to come this afternoon for all the rest of the finishes, not only in the Melbourne to Hobart race, the 50th edition of that special race, the Launceston to Hobart, the Rolex Sydney Hobart. There's still so much more to come, and we'll do our best to bring you coverage all the way through the fleet, even though, especially in the Rolex Sydney Hobart, the line honours is done. We're still waiting on a protest this afternoon at 4 o'clock to confirm who the IRC overall winner will be in the Rolex Sydney Hobart. And the Launceston to Hobart is yet to happen, but this might be the first time that the coverage of the 50th Melbourne to Hobart has been covered live. I don't think it's happened before, so we might add that to the CV. A little bit of a header here, heating up. Might just be a bit of down pressure, actually. That drone should be up and ready for you, God. Yay! Here we go.
Just a bit more wind, giving us a wave, little kiss.
Blowing kisses to Speezy. What we might do while we've got a little bit of a downtime, if you just check that YouTube link, Andrew. Excellent. I might bring the drone in now, and we might actually just go to some footage of when we helped Maritimo with their pit stop in Sydney. We just slow down now for me, Shieldsy, and we'll come to a stop, and we'll roll to this footage of us helping Maritimo with their pit stop in Sydney. I'm going to change over the drone battery, and we'll keep bringing you coverage live from the Derwent for the 50th Melbourne to Hobart yacht race. Okay, B-roll in. We're not.
And then they're I'll take this up. Yeah.
We are live out on the Derwent to bring you the line honours finish of the 50th Melbourne to Hobart yacht race. Chapo, it's so great that you've managed to take some time out of your busy customs house schedule to be with us today.
Yeah, it's probably a good thing you dragged me out of there, Nick. What a beautiful day, though.
What a beautiful day indeed, and we are trying to bring in the drone as well, so be ready, ladies and gentlemen. Maritimo on the screen, currently leading line honours in the 50th Melbourne to Hobart race, which is sponsored by Doyle and of course brought to you by the ORCV, and we thank them for letting us be involved with their great whilst we were here. Maritimo, of course, owned by Bill Barry Cotter. I know that Stefan Racing were very disappointed that they could rematch with their racing friends from Maritimo in the Rolex Sydney Hobart.
It looks like the sea breeze is just starting to build. Spinnaker pole coming back a bit, sheet's been eased. Speezy's got a pretty tight grip on that wheel. Kind of looks like he's driving in 40 knots downwind back in his Rothman days, but a little bit less wind at the minute. Was 40 knots yesterday. That wasn't much fun, an upwind, but this is quite nice.
Indeed.
Big
and
S2 flying.
Big S2, which you could see from the air in just 1 minute, I'm certain, out on the beautiful Derwent. We came all the way up the river to come and see Maritimo. So, Chapo, I know it was a roller coaster ride of a roller. You had a very blissful first 24 hours by the looks of it. It might have even made you like offshore racing.
No chance. No, it was, look, for me, that's the best race I've ever done in terms of ease of getting here, shall we say. Last year, I think, was a bit more special, given how hard the conditions were. But this year's race, yesterday morning, was very, very tough, and luckily for us, we had two Volvo guys, me and Rob Greenhall, absolutely sending the Celestial.
Oh, we've got the
big spectator
boat, and they're saying, please get out of our windward air. Yeah. They're fighting for the overall win as well.
Move back a bit. It's a beautiful boat, though.
Built by Richardson Divine Marine, that spectator boat. Though at the moment, they're going to drive away anyway.
Okay, so apparently he's match racing the spectator boat.
Oh, no.
We're doing the World Tour final again, Nick.
Maybe. I know Chapo was commentating the World Match Racing Tour final with me just last week in Sydney.
Beautiful drive there. Very smooth. For some of the younger viewers, this boat has a spinnaker pole, so they might not have seen that before.
If you have just joined us, you are missing out on all the action. Not really. My goodness, yesterday it was action-packed out here on the Derwent. Today it seems very benign. Champagne sailing out here. Yesterday it was approximately 100 knots out here. I felt like I was Bear Grylls.
So one reason for that drive is they probably want to come in on the western shore, where once they get into the main part of the Derwent, just past the John Garrow Light off Sandy Bay, the breeze is always stronger on the Sandy Bay side, the western side.
Copy. Yesterday you hugged the eastern shore because it was the alternate wind direction, Chapo, or?
Well, the wind direction was meant to be north, and it was northwest. A little bit of wet back to the north and a little bit of north. Yeah. I don't know what to say about yesterday's one, really.
It's very variable due to that big thing in the distance called Mount Wellington, which you can see beyond Maritimo there. There's a bit of a big wind shadow.
Yeah, pretty much yesterday for us was just getting the boat over the line. The conditions really were quite tough. We had a bit of damage to our mainsail, so trying to protect the equipment more than anything yesterday, which the guys did a fantastic job of. It's just amazing that the space of a day, just completely different conditions.
It shows you how on top of your game you've got to be. I said it yesterday because we did have very, very, very hairy conditions out here, but leading into that, we had nothing. It was becalmed. We watched Willow and Stefan in absolutely no breeze to being in 25, 30, up to 40 knots of breeze. It was absolutely incredible out here now with beautiful sea breeze. So just shows you how variable it can be.
Yeah, we spoke about that in our pre-race briefing, just that the Derwent will do what the Derwent wants.
Mm.
And even though we were all expecting 20 knots coming upwind, we knew it could have been 50 knots or it could have been 0 knots.
Mm. And just so that God knows, the drone is getting some beautiful shots here. We're actually it's just so beautiful out here. I feel like I don't want to have to talk all the time, Chapo, because it's just so glorious. I'm enjoying my rest. But thank you so much for helping us out today. What is your day rate? A case of Cascade or?
No. Scallop pie.
Okay, that's good. I'm friends with the National Pies Company, so, you know, been a long time sponsor of our broadcast. You can see
Bit more breeze coming here. Should see that pole coming back a little bit soon.
come on, breathe.
Shieldsy is the John Garrow part of the course?
I think so, I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I think it is.
I think so.
Oh, do you know what I'm really excited about? That Hootspa got in last night while we were sleeping and they didn't blow up a chute on the way up the Derwent like last year. That was absolutely amazing. Mm-hmm.
Now, Nick, what do you think about the fashion sense of this team?
Shieldsy giggling in the background. I love it. I think fluoro yellow is amazing. I think everyone should wear high vis. And I also think everybody's spinnakers should be high vis with massive big logos on them as well. Just so that I can tell who is who without having to look at the back of their boat.
There we go. Bowman's now having to put on this high vis shirt.
Yes! High vis! High vis! High vis!
He looks quite reluctant.
He is a amazing human, that one, that doesn't have his high vis on yet. He actually has swum at a Commonwealth Games. Did you know that, Chapo?
Wow.
Yeah.
There's a few Commonwealth Games participants into sailing at the moment. Glenn, he sailed with us on Alive in the Launceston to Hobart, and he was at the 1980 something Commonwealth Games competing in rowing.
Wow.
I think it was Canada.
There's quite a bit of crossover between rowing and sailing.
Yeah, the Cup guys, I guess the grinders were big into rowing.
Ah, copy.
That was a big thing. Now I guess it's cycling.
Copy.
There you go, pole coming back. This is good. More breeze. Probably they might jibe in the next few moments.
Wait. Hello, spectator boat.
Big waves coming in about 5 minutes.
Copy that.
Talking about guys.
I've got a big question for you, Chapo. What's next?
Next for me is the Dragon Nationals.
Woohoo!
Unfortunately, my crew, Tom Spithill, has just had to pull out, so I am looking.
When are they?
They are second to the 7th, I believe, of the Royal Sydney Yacht Squadron. I think there's a fleet of about 15 boats from Perth, Tasmania, and Sydney, and Melbourne, so
How heavy do they have to be?
quite large. So they're
Ah.
driving Chilsea.
So I'm out of it, but maybe we could go to this. Jeremy Ford, he may not be big enough if he needs big. Oh, you mean Jeremy Ford from here?
The great man.
The great man. Where is the great man? He
Right.
usually joins us for our coverage. Maybe
I
you'll have to tack,
I
Marine.
definitely
Oh no,
cannot.
you're going to spin around? Are we tacking? Okay.
Tacking. I definitely can't.
We're jibing. We're jibing as well.
40's day rate. Yep. So the guys are doing 6.5 knots boat speed. You can see on the dials. It's got the main cord on the backstay there. No, I think he'll go straight through.
Okay, try that.
There we go,
We're
Scotty.
going to try and bring the drone back in, ladies and gentlemen. Changed a few settings. We are learning.
There we go.
And for those who are watching, we've had stacks of interviews, stacks of highlights. If you know anybody who's French, we're doing some French coverage, and especially in our highlights for the first time in our Rolex Sydney Hobart coverage, but I don't think anybody else has done French highlights, so we'll take that one as well.
Can you see the brand of mainsail, Nick? I can't quite read it.
Oh, no, I can't read it either. What does it say?
There we go, more breeze.
More breeze. Everyone likes more breeze.
So back to the high vis.
Yeah, high vis. We're back to high vis. Good.
I was fortunate enough to sail with these guys at the Festival of Sails this year, sorry.
Yeah, that was this year, wasn't it?
And we did take that regatta out, but it was a half Hollywood team, half Maritimo team, and the Hollywood is like the high vis. So we had half red and half lime.
Oh, so you looked like a pineapple pizza then?
No pineapple pizza on, no pineapple on pizza, Nick.
I know, well that's what you would have looked like with the red in there too. So I'm
Yeah,
just saying maybe you should have just all gone high vis and then you look like pina coladas rather than...
Well, as you know, Ray Roberts, we all ended up red.
You all ended up red. Fantastic.
Ray's not used to losing.
I don't like losing either. I don't like losing the drone stream either, but I know we're doing a bit of a complicated broadcast out here. I think they look like they're going quite deep here. They might go for a jibe. Yep.
Made call from the bowman. Sheet easing. Guy brace coming on. Pole coming down. Hughesy there.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Scotty trying to do his mainsail on the backstay again, cranking that bang on, he's got it. And Scotty Kaufman's one of those guys, you know, a little bit like Speezy. They have lots of experience, but they still sail the boat like they're in their mid-20s. And it's so good to see, so good to watch. You can see that Scotty's still campaigning his actual hard. Still got
He
his
really is, isn't he?
head out of the boat the whole time. He wants every little bit of thing he can get out of this race. They really want that handicap win. They want the double.
So what I want to know is, in the comments section on this video, 1, who is going to crew for Chapo in the Dragon Nationals? 2, should we have pineapple on a pizza? And 3, yes or no for the high vis option? We've got a few polls going.
Beautiful timber boat just on our windward side here.
Oh, glorious. We've got a few spectators out for the line honours finish of the 50th Melbourne to Hobart race.
I believe it's the Wooden Boat Festival in February.
I believe so.
A lot of beautiful hue and pine boats down here. We've got some Sharpies out training for their nationals. All seems to be happening down in Hobart.
I've seen so many people down here too that I actually caught up with the Davos the other day who I've not seen for ages. They're just on a holiday. The world's feeling a lot more normal down here in Hobart compared to last year, which was incredibly tough. And I think that given that we're getting a little bit closer to the city here, perhaps this will get a little bit more stable in the drone feed and we might be able to bring in some aerials. But everybody's working hard out here. A shout out to my whole team. Andrew, God, back in the box, making sure we can stay live for you out here on the Derwent. Marine on the handheld. And Wendell taking stills. We put up a few stills from the finishes from yesterday. I will have a full gallery of all of the images from the start and the finish available on our website.
So that's Murray Spence.
Mm-hmm.
Just on the back there, the navigator. He's just telling Speezy where not to go. Murray was Alfa Romeo fame, Shockwave, lots of experience. He's got the iPad there showing Speezy.
Chapo, I've got some results for you. The poll is coming in on Facebook and YouTube.
Diving. Better stop here.
Oh, we're going to stop here for a jibe. Holding on, everybody.
Lost the engines.
Oh, beep, beep, beep. So the poll is coming in, Chapo. We can report that everybody loves the high vis. Everybody loves pineapple on pizza, so they're not with you.
Yep.
And next, Rowena Chapman says she thinks all the high vis should be pink. What do you think, Chapo? I think you might know Rowena Chapman.
Nope. Anymore.
For those who don't know, Rowena Chapman is David Chapman's mum. Nice to have you joining us, lovely.
Very good sailor in her own right, Rowena Chapman, nee Wilmot. Actually, the pink would look better.
I think the pink would look amazing.
Sorry, Mum. Yep, Shieldsy, just telling us there. Mount Wellington. It's not snowing today. No cable car. We're not political, Stephen.
Okay, we might slow down and bring in a little bit of a highlights package from what we've been doing here so far in Hobart. Our highlights reel from yesterday shows just how hard we've been working. We've had interviews galore, we've had live finishes galore, and it's been all on here in Hobart. Whilst we're bringing you the 50th Melbourne to Hobart line honours finish, we've also been down here predominantly to cover the Rolex Sydney Hobart. So we'll get that highlights reel or a highlights reel ready urgently. We'll do our interview review potentially from before the start. Yep. And here we go with our interview. Stop, Chelsea. Stop. Next to my good mate Clarky, David Griffith, Maddie Lyons and Alex Lyons, Seb Bomb, Annika and Tomo Thompson, Mr. John Winning, Daryl Whistlang, and we're well on our way towards the start at 1 p.m. on Boxing Day.
Yeah, we're really excited to be in the race.
That's really cool. I'm really excited.
I wish you all the best.
Touch wood.
Where's some wood? I'm just going to touch wood for you down.
But that is, it's plastic
It's
wood.
laminate. Right, we need to find some actual wood. We'll bring you more soon from here at the Cruising Yacht Club of Australia for our coverage of the Rolex Sydney Hobart 2022. Here. I'm not sure what's going on. Hold this.
We still got.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the finish of the 50th Melbourne to Hobart. Just getting ourselves into position for the finish. Chapo, what can you see?
Well, the spectator fleet's just increased. Got about 20 boats out here. Guys are about 5 minutes away from the finish line. One jibing into the finish here. Beautiful building sea breeze. Should be a fantastic afternoon.
Oh no, every finish that's going to come after this one is going to be next level. I can see Cassiopeia in the distance. Sunrise are going to come into the finish as well. Apparently they've got a busted boom, a busted broom. Yep, that's what was the problem, was a busted broom.
And hopefully this is Maritimo's final jibe into the finish line.
Fingers crossed.
Looks like they've jibed a little early, but they know more than I do.
Coming into the finish here. It's interesting too that all of these amazing races that come into Hobart they really do work together as well. They share the finish line here in Hobart. It's so amazing that 3 races can come and converge. I think that's what makes this time of year in Hobart so very, very special.
They must be pretty confident they're laying the line. They're packing the jib up already. I think they're going to have to do 2 more jibes, Nick.
I think that they really want a beer and they're focused on packing up, Chapo. They've been racing since the Gold Coast after all.
So Gold Coast to Coffs Harbour, then drive back to the Gold Coast to Sydney, refuel, Sydney to Melbourne, Melbourne to Hobart. I'm going to say 1,500 miles.
I reckon 1,500 miles easy. But here they are coming into the finish. And I'm sure there'll be big smiles on. They're really sick of being on this boat.
Yeah.
Especially the delivery crew.
Just a bit slow at the moment. I think they're just trying to decide if they try and don't, they're going to go for
They're
the
going to
jibe.
jibe.
Yeah, good call. Scotty Kaufman going hard on the main sheet there. Yeah, straight through. Must be a bit more pressure. Don't need to use the backstay now. A little bit slow turn there from Spees. Might have to give him a bit of coaching after we get in. But they don't need to do anything special.
Yeah, nothing special except all of the pre-prep that they've done for this race.
Yeah.
But for those who are watching, thank you so much for joining us. We did try really hard to bring the drone footage in, but it's just a little bit difficult with the latency issues going up and down and here and there with all of the cameras. So what we can tell you is that I have been recording this whole time whilst we've been bringing them home to Hobart with not only a welcome wagon thanks to the Royal Yacht Club of Tasmania, but our Sky Puppy. So we'll have a lovely little highlights reel for you as well, just to celebrate the fact that these guys have made this massive journey, and we are so pleased time and time again in this sport by the resilience and the hardiness. And we saw winners yesterday. We saw people who had really struggled to get to Hobart in terms of breakages. All sailors will know that breakages are incredibly tough. We saw injuries, we saw many difficult things, but what we know is that as a community, we really come together here in Hobart to have some beers and celebrate all of the tough times and all of the amazing times together. It's not a perfect sport, a perfect life. And I think that's what makes sailors one of a kind. Well, sport is that way, but in sailing, when you really struggle, you really feel it, let me tell you. So Chapo, who's standing next to me, didn't, even though they're sitting as clubhouse leaders at the moment in the Rolex Sydney Hobart on Celestial, they didn't have a perfect race either. They finished the race with a broken headboard on their mainsail. So just to put it in perspective, it's not always perfect.
One and in for the boys. Here they go. Final jibe.
Yeah.
Looks like they're going to finish in 10 to 12 knots. There we go. Beautiful trimming by the trimmer, whoever that is.
That was a beautiful job.
That's good. They've saved the best job to last. Well done, boys. A big well done to these guys. 49 entries for the 50th Melbourne to Hobart.
That's kind of a nice little poetic number, isn't it? 49 for the 50th.
Yeah.
Let's hope they have 50 for the 51st.
We're going to get a gun here, Nick?
I hope so. That would be fantastic. As we bring Maritimo in for the line honours finish for the 50th Melbourne to Hobart race. What a feat for the crew from Maritimo. And we know that Bill Barry Cotter will be so proud of his team for everything that they did as they crossed the line. Big claps. Great job from this team.
Sean from the DSS there. Give it a round of applause. Some hooters from the spectators. Fantastic.
Just fantastic indeed. We'll just get our bird out of the sky and then we'll try and get alongside for some interviews quickly. So if you could just slow down for me, Shieldsy. Thanks, mate. And just bear with us, ladies and gentlemen, while we get our little sky puppy out of the sky. Wherever you're watching from in the world, thank you so much for joining us. And we have to give a big shout out also to Musto Australia, who have really powered up for this finish, for these finishes in Hobart.
Nick's just teasing me with the drone.
Oh, with the drone, I know. That was good fun indeed. All right, let's get in there and do some interviews, I think. We'll see what we can do here before they get to the dock, because once they get to the dock, apparently they have to get nice and pretty for their media. They've also got a drone in the sky from the Melbourne to Hobart race, which made that a little bit tricky at the finish there too, but I think we got some great footage. I think that's why we might have been struggling with our latency there to Andrew got in the box. There was another drone in the sky. The Derwent Sailing Squadron boat coming alongside. They're also responsible for the Launceston to Hobart race.
Yeah, it looks like the leader's 20-25 minutes away.
So what we're going to do here is just grab a handheld for me, Maureen. Just here on the seat, there's a handheld. Yeah, and what we're going to do is get Chapo's microphone out of his pocket. I'm just talking my team guys through here some operational issues. Yep, and we're going to unplug that, swap them over, and Chapo, you'll stand next to me when we ask the questions. We're going to hand this mic to Speezy, so we'll keep it live, and we're going to hand the handheld to Speezy over the rail so we can do some interviews over the rail with the great man himself. And Chapo, you can keep talking into that one for a second, buddy. They're rounding up here, getting ready to go into the dock, and we'll see if we can pass that microphone to Speezy in just 1 second, or at least somebody on board. And for those who are watching, we weren't expecting that we would do coverage of Maritimo for the Melbourne to Hobart race for this edition, but that is the way that it has eventuated, and we're so happy that we can bring them in here. So we do have a boom pole somewhere. No, we don't. That's okay. We'll chuck them this microphone. We'll just peg it at his head. He's used to obstacles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very fast main down. I think
It's the fastest main down I've ever seen.
Yeah, they're desperate to get into Customs House, it looks like.
They really are. We'll see if we can get Speezy off the helm, Captain Araldite, and pass him a microphone. There should be a boom pole up the front just there. See, there's a boom pole. Do you want to grab that boom pole? We'll pop the mic into the boom pole. We'll extend it out and get an interview with Speezy over the rail. Hey, Speezy. Good job. We'll get some tape and just tape it in as well. There's some tape underneath the front there. Excellent. Great job. Awesome work. Shieldsy doing a great job on the helm as always here with our media boat. Excellent. Once they get this on, we'll get this microphone ready. Just do a quick interview. Hey, we're just going to get this mic ready for you, Spees.
Passing the whole thing to them.
I'll do. Yep, no, just the pole will extend. So it extends like a fishing pole. Line honours winner, Maritimo in the 50th Melbourne to Hobart Westcoaster race. We'll just get a mic ready for you, Spees. Here's the whole team, though. Hi, Viz, yes or no? We've had a few polls going as you've been coming into the finish. I'll tell you a little bit more about them in just a second. It was a long run up the Derwent, but not as long as their race from the Gold Coast to make it to Melbourne for the race in the first place. And it will just extend out like a fishing pole. Doesn't look industrial at all, but we're going to make it work. There you go. Telescopic. Look at this chapo on the pole. He's never used this in his life, but here we go. What could possibly, he said that's not true. What could possibly go wrong here? Just yell, Speedy, yell. Nah. All right, Speedy, just yell to me, mate. What an adventure from the Gold Coast to Melbourne to here. Congratulations on winning line honours in the 50th Melbourne to Hobart race.
Thank you, Sally Girl.
How do you feel?
It's great. A bit of a relief. Been the emotional roller coaster the last 10 days and still with these guys. Finish up in the same place we always intend to finish up with this result. It's fantastic.
That is just fantastic. Now we've had a poll going, high vis, yes or no. Everyone says yes, they love the high vis. So just wanted to let you know that. Exactly. And also we are pretty excited for you guys to have a beer. What do you reckon?
I think so, yes.
Now tell me about your delivery crew that have basically been on this boat for the past week.
Yeah, them here, 5 of them, Owen, Easy, the fireman, the call.
The swimmer on the bow. Yeah. Yeah. Scallops! Scallops! Give us a wave, buddy. Hey, mate. Yeah, indeed. Well, we're going to let you get organised because I know you need a beer. Everybody's giving you big kudos, guys. That was a mammoth effort, and I can't believe you still made it to Hobart. And of course, winning line honours is just cherry on top, eh?
Yeah, and to get these guys with Celestial winning overall too, what a good result.
What a great result. Thanks, mate, says Chapo.
See you soon.
Excellent. Now he'll get his mic back on this industrious pole. Great job. Great job, team. Good job, Marine. Great job. Great job, boys. Mammoth effort from Maritimo. And that's your line honours winners in the 50th Melbourne to Hobart race. We're going to take a small break and we'll be back with plenty more live from the Derwent. I can see Cassiopeia just up the way, but we'll have a little bit of a break and we'll come back to you soon with more. Thanks to our amazing supporters, the Royal Yacht Club of Tasmania, and of course, Musto. JBW is coming? Yeah, cool.
He shattered.